401. Thank you, Seth. Call the meeting together. Like I said, 401. I'll read our statement of commitment to diversity, equity, inclusion. The Scituate Waterways Commission is committed to providing an environment of respect during meetings. We ask that all members to interact in a polite manner, even when there is a disagreement. We value the participation of our community and want all participants, including marginalized and minoritized communities, to feel welcomed and respected. We ask that our committee members and all who participate to commit to these standards to support and respect our community. Thank you. It's a very quick agenda today, as everybody knows. I also, on item 5, threw in the possible 5-year plan vote. It's not ready. If it was, I just threw it on there just in case we wanted to talk about it. But the real reason why we're here is to try to finalize and agree upon the harbor feasibility study memo. I hope everybody's had a chance to look at it. I know that Brian and Rick did a really great job of updating and making a few changes to it. If it's okay, and if there aren't any questions so far, I'd like to send it over to Rick and begin the discussion.
Yeah, so what happened is you guys recall from our last meeting, we had my original draft, which Brian and Dave and I think maybe Brian Ronan as well made some edits on or something. And we basically did all those edits and then some more, just to clarify and make some things a little stronger. And that's basically it. So there's no change in content. There were just some, wordsmithing and making some things stronger and adding some stuff in. I would like to propose also, the reason why I asked about chat is paragraph 3 of the draft memo says something along the lines of, we unequivocally and resolutely, unanimously and unequivocally, don't support it. Right? That sentence I think is fine, and it says that due to cost. And that's true. I do not want to alter that sentence, but I would propose that we add a sentence because a sentence that I just put in the chat, because that one-line paragraph just makes it look like our only concern was cost, when in reality, we had a lot of other concerns as well. So I was suggesting that we just put there a flag pointing them to elsewhere in the memo where we talk about the Coast Guard, we talk about the bathrooms, all that sort of stuff. So I suggest that we add there, the Waterways Commission has other serious concerns with the proposed project as well, as detailed throughout this memo. It's just to show that I don't want them just someone who's only reading the first 3 paragraphs to say all they care about is cost. When it's not.
Good point.
Yep. I think that makes good sense, Rick, because it's not just about cost, and it's sort of spelled out throughout the document, including in the appendix of how it's sort of broken down on why. But I agree with that. That's a good point.
Yeah, I'm just worried if someone only reads the first 3 paragraphs, they would get an incomplete and not strong enough understanding of where the array of our concerns are. Anyways, Brian, Kelly, you want to say anything?
Is BK here?
I see it.
I don't see him.
He should be able to unmute himself.
Thank you. Driving like Colleen, so I can't see what you wrote in the chat, but I believe for me.
It's exactly what you're breaking up, Brian, but it's also, it's exactly what I said to you and Deneen earlier today.
Just a comment. What my Brian is bad connection, I guess. That was my only concern with the letter. I think the way you just pegged that is absolutely correct. The only thing I would add is that there should be some sort of a nod to the strong public involvement in the last 2 meetings, and it wasn't just money. It's just the design itself there was concerns with. So however you capture that, I think would be the icing on the cake. I think you guys did a great job in the letter, and you have to find some way to make it not just financial and a nod to the public that showed up, and they showed up in not a casual way, I guess I would say.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I thought that there was a mention that there was a lot of public support against the project in general. I can't remember where it was in the letter. I don't have it in front of me, but I thought that was mentioned.
I first thank you guys for drafting this. It's phenomenal. So, and I don't want to get into wordsmithing, but to David's point, maybe in the second paragraph,
Yeah.
I was impressed by the turnout of the public to our meetings. It wasn't casual. There was quite a few people giving quite a few comments, and I think we should let people know up front of their contribution. We talk about the administrator, yourselves, the town meeting participants. Not sure what that means, but I think in there, if we could just forcefully say we appreciated the input of the general public that came to several of our meetings to express their concerns, I think that'd be a little more powerful. That's all.
Yep.
Strengthen the input from the community.
I mean, they came to those meetings and then they came out in force, in my opinion, where they couldn't even fit them in the room the first time.
Yep. I can tell you that really that July meeting, there were just over 60 that attended, and they were hanging out of the windows. But we tried to do the best we could. And again, thank you to the commission members that really worked hard to try to make everybody feel good. And we took our time to try to make sure we were able to answer questions. I think a lot of people left that meeting feeling, they have a much better understanding of what was happening. For the August meeting, that number had cut down over half to just over 20 some odd members of the community showed up. And then for our meeting that we had last week, we were down to a handful. So I think people feel pretty good that they were able to get their information to us. We were able to extrapolate that and put that in a detailed memo. So I like that. So if
Dave, or better yet, Rick, you think maybe in the second paragraph where we talk about thanking everybody, we could add a few words there to,
I do. I'm writing it right now in the chat.
oh, okay. Thank you.
Dave, I have one comment, if you will, before you go for a motion on this. And I think it's Appendix E. It mentions that, and like I said, I don't have the memo in front of me, but it mentions that the Coast Guard is not critical for safety or something to that effect. And I disagree with that statement. We've spent a lot of time and effort to keep the Coast Guard in Scituate over the years, and it's going from a full-fledged station down to this summer station with a 29-footer. But I don't think we want to say and memorialize the fact that we don't think the Coast Guard is important. I mean, we think the Coast Guard's very important with buoys, with and with their support in the area, no matter what the environmental police does or what the capabilities of the Scituate police. I think we need to remove that and not and not insinuate that the Coast Guard's not important to safety.
Brian, I can read the last piece of that, which states after let's see, significantly undervalued. Furthermore, the Coast Guard is present only seasonally at that, mostly on the weekends, with the Coast Guard becoming increasingly focused on offshore interdiction. B, the deployment of new high-speed Coast Guard vessels from Point Allerton and Hull that can reach Scituate far faster than in the past years. And C, the increasing on-water capabilities of Scituate's local authorities, harbor master police, environmental police. The Coast Guard's presence is no longer critical for safety. So that's the line that I think had you a little concerned.
I would say
So-
just, you could just end with the increased capability of Situate. You don't need to add the Coast Guard's not critical to safety. I totally disagree with that.
Could we say the Coast Guard's president is no longer as critical, period, or as required, with leaving out the first safety?
I don't know, Rick, if that's really adding any value. I was
Okay,
going to mention that too. I was waiting for you to wrap up your comments as a group, but not only,
I got it.
with Stephen's interactions with the Coast Guard, but also Situate Police. They do a lot
Gotcha.
of training from like a Homeland Security standpoint. Like saying they're not critical, they really are. They're here to serve the public, and there are times when, their assets are going to be more critical or more appropriate for a rescue case than what we have in the town. Whether
Got
it
it.
be weather, whether it be law enforcement. I don't think that adds a lot of value. And
Yep.
then especially going in front of the town too, where 5 years ago we escalated like, hey, we really need the political support to keep the Coast Guard here. I know our TAs, went out and advocated, and we had some, a really good showing there at the harbor master's office in support of keeping him here. And I think that would just sour with the community based on all the efforts we've made previously to, to make sure that they are kind of part of our community.
Okay, yep, I'm revising right now and putting in chat.
Thank you.
Howie, did you see the chat that Rick put strengthening paragraph 2?
It comes and goes here, so I
Let me
can
read what Rick wrote for paragraph.
And keep in mind, guys, I'm composing on the fly, so.
yeah, no, I can't answer Dave's question because it came and went.
So let me read Rick's addition to paragraph 2. Boy, Rick,
Yes.
2 fingers typing. We draw attention to that public comment was unusually active. Over 60 residents participated in one of the meetings, and subsequent meetings also benefited from strong community input, predominantly against the proposal. Does that make sense?
Perfect. Sounds good to me.
Okay. Rick also just updated section E, appendix 2, for that we note that A, the Coast Guard is becoming increasingly focused on offshore interdiction. B, new high-speed Coast Guard vessels have been deployed from Point Allerton, Hull, and can reach Scituate faster than in the past years. And C, there is an increasing on-water capabilities of Scituate's local police, Scituate's local authorities, harbor police, environmental police, RE. Okay, Rick, you just added this new piece here. Is this the where we want to go?
Yeah, because right after that revised sentence that you just read, we note that A, B, and C. There's a recommendation. And the recommendation, I think, is probably too strong if I'm listening to people's comments right. And so I would delete that first sentence, which says the Waterways recommends the town move towards a path whereby Coast Guard vacates Scituate.
Right.
I think if we delete that, but leave the rest, because the rest says current Coast Guard building, if surplus by the Coast Guard, could either be renovated for public bathrooms or raised, replaced with trailers, regardless in the context of new potential harbor master facility. Planning to accommodate the Coast Guard should not be included. If Coast Guard wishes to stay in Scituate, they should pay an appropriate amount of money, likely to be at least an order of magnitude greater than their current contribution. But I want to delete the first sentence, which I put in the chat. So I think that softens it more towards what Brian and TJ and others are saying.
And I also think they're still a little concerned again with that last line on the paragraph before the recommendation. The Coast Guard's presence is no longer critical for safety.
That's deleted.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry about that.
That's the chat comment immediately earlier you just read.
Got it.
Yeah,
It just
that's
ends
right.
at environmental police.
Got it.
That's the comment that I objected to. So thank you.
Yep. Well done. Appreciate you pointing it out. Just trying to capture everything as best I can.
Yeah, Well, like, thank you to you and Brian for putting this together. It's well written and well put together. So thanks.
Cool.
Mike, thoughts?
So, Dave, I had the letter's great. I thank you for the effort on that. But, I think the main issue that came out of the people was the public amenities for bathrooms and showers. I think we still need to look into that through waterways, even with the town forefathers and people in town to look at other avenues for bathrooms for the harbor. I don't think it's just a building. It's also the need of public bathrooms and showers that's not not in the harbor. So I think we should look at other avenues for that. Colleen's letter mentions CPC funds. There's grant funds for bathrooms, portable showers and bathrooms. So I don't think we should be harping on the Coast Guard stuff. I think the Coast Guard should always be part of the Scituate fabric. That's just probably me and TJ's take because we both bleed orange and blue. But I think Scituate should be a Coast Guard city. The building really doesn't have much to do with the Coast Guard. We said that at the outset.
Yeah.
We pretty much knew they weren't going to come up with $5 to $7 million. It's never going to happen. They're never going to be here full time again. So I think we should really look to not address the Coast Guard's issues, right? But I think we should really, to do the public some justice, is make the harbor a better place with bathrooms and showers when people do come. I think that's where the focus should shift a little bit from here. So I think that should be some mention of that into the letter. That's all.
And it is it's section D for appendix 2.
Okay, yeah, I just put it in the chat.
Oh,
So, and in fact, Mike, to your point, this is mentioned before the Coast Guard. So it's mentioned as a higher priority than the Coast Guard. And we point out that the need for bathrooms that are available to general public,
Right.
arose as a matter of great desire by the public. We acknowledge this need. And then we say, given the need for public bathrooms, we recommend the town explore how to meet this need via a separate process from the potential harbor master facility. The need exists even with the current harbor master building,
Right.
et cetera. So I think it's there.
Good.
I
Thank you.
that. Let's see Nick, do you have any comments about the document?
I thought it was well written. I agree with all the comments that we've said here today. So I'm on board. Thank
Great.
you.
Thank you. Howie, anything else what you see or any thoughts?
No, I like the way it's rolling out here. I think at the very end, Dave, you as chairman should sign for the commission, or everybody should sign, but at least the chairman should sign this.
Yep. Thank you. Dave Sinkowski, any other final thoughts?
I think everything would be redundant, so thank you all.
Okay. TJ, you feel good?
I feel good. Thanks
Okay.
for giving me out.
I know Brian where Brian was. I know Brian's pretty okay right now. Brian Kelly, are you back?
If you can hear me, I am. I was in a crappy cell area. And in the interest of keeping this short, I have nothing to add. Thank you, everyone.
And somewhat formally, I approve it, and I really thank the comments even today that came in, made it even better.
Very good. I would recommend we take a vote on this. If everybody feels we'll make the changes that were discussed here, I'll ask Rick and Brian to finalize that. We'll take a vote to approve this memo. I can sign it if the board feels that's necessary, and then I'll get it to actually I'm meeting with the town administrator tomorrow, so I can hand deliver it to him tomorrow. Does everybody feel that's the appropriate direction?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay,
Yes.
let me get my notes. I'll entertain a motion.
Oh, Dave, point of order.
Yes, sir.
This is actually going to the select board, so
That's right. Yep.
you would need to send it to, I forgot Lorraine's replacement, but Jim reports to the select board. We should be sending it directly to the select board as well.
Yeah, I think it's Sherry.
It is.
Yep.
Yeah.
I will see her tomorrow as well. She's next office over, as you know.
Yep.
I'll entertain a motion to approve this memo with the changes from today's discussion.
So moved.
So that's BC.
Second.
BK. Because we are remote, I'll have to go and do a roll call. Brian Cronin,
Aye.
Brian Kelly,
Aye.
David Sinkowski,
Aye.
Howie Kretzenberg,
Aye.
Rick Murray,
Yes, I,
TJ Malveski,
Aye.
and Dave Deneen, aye. So the ayes have it. That is 8-0. I also want to 8-0. I want to thank our associate members that were also on the call and very helpful with our discussions on this. Mike and Nick, thank you very much. And even Colleen listening in. Let me go. Brian Kelly, nothing new to report on our 5-year plan currently, correct?
Work in progress with Rick right now. We expect to have a memo generated well before the next meeting.
Very good. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
moved.
Second.
Dave, I will get you I'll get you that text that I just wrote. I just copied it out of the chat and I'll put it in the memo and delete what I just said too, and I'll send it to you in about 10 minutes.
Very good. Let me do just a quick to get us out of here. Brian Cronin,
Aye.
Brian Kelly.
Aye.
David Sinkowski. Where is he?
Dave.
Aye.
There we go. Thank you, David. Howie Kretzenberg,
Aye.
Rick Murray,
Aye.
TJ Malveski,
Aye.
Dave Deneen, aye. We are out. 8-0. Thank you, everybody, for this. This has been a long, challenging, sir. It's been a long process, and we appreciate all the efforts everybody's put into it, even at extra meetings like this. So, thanks so much, everybody.
Thanks,
Thank you.
everybody.
Bye for now.